Park? Well, if you're looking for a good deal on tickets, we'll tell you why you might have to brush up on your French.
Coming up on this week's show, we ask if Disneyland Paris is keeping some of its best prices a secret if you book online. We tell you why this strange-looking contraption might help you get over your jet lag. We sample some of the most fashionable cocktails in northern Spain. And
join me as I help clean up some coral reefs here in Thailand.
Hello and welcome to The Travel Show, your new and essential guide to global getaways from the BBC. We invite you to join us on our travels, and in return, we'll offer you all the advice and information that we pick up along the way. So here's a little taste of what we got in store for you.
We'll take you on a global tour of some of the most exciting new emerging destinations and discover hidden sides to the world's most popular getaways.
This is extremely difficult. One thing that you've got to be careful of is your balance.
My top tip, if you're into diving like me, is to head to Batala Marga Kantilla.
We'll help you get the best out of your gadgets while you're on the road, without forgetting to experience the thrill of making memories that will really last a lifetime.
There'll be a wealth of additional destination guides and features from the programme online, and even more at bbc.com/travel.
Plus, we'll feature your tweets and your travel tales, and you can follow us on our adventures on the road by signing up to our feeds to join us real time on our journeys around the globe.
Taking in over 70 countries and countless destinations in 2014.
Follow us on an amazing journey of discovery in 2014.
Let's kick off with a trip to France, home to Europe's most popular theme park. But are Mickey and his gang being as upfront as they could be about the cheapest prices to enter their magical kingdom? Time to find out.
Disneyland Paris opened with great fanfare in 1992. More than 250 million people have walked through the gates since then. These numbers make it the most popular amusement park in Europe and 5th in the world, drawing in tourists from across the globe. But the price you pay to actually get in can end up varying depending on where you buy your tickets. Back in London, I checked out the website.
I've been looking online for the cheapest price that a family of 4 would pay for 7 days in the 2 parks in February. Now here in the UK, that would come to just over €1,200. However, if you jump on the train behind me for 2 hours, the price changes significantly. Yeah, so if you visit the website in France, a family of 4 is offered a much lower price for exactly the same visit. At just over €600, it's less than half the price that I would have paid in London. So how does this work?
It all comes down to Disney's annual passports. On the French language websites in France and Belgium, you can buy one of these passes for as little as €159 per person. For example, it could save you money on a 5-day trip. But these passes aren't mentioned at all on the websites we checked outside France and Belgium, meaning people outside those countries could end up paying a lot more. So what happens if you just show up at the park?
Yes, that's right. I've come to Disneyland Paris to find out. Now let's see what the cheapest price I can get is. I've been to 2 ticket desks and I found out that the cheapest price I can get is half the price that you'd get if you were online in the UK. Now, I would be gutted if I'd spend that money, and think of all that extra cash I could be spending on Mickey while I'm over here.
In fact, we made 4 visits to the gates to ask about ticket prices, and each time we were told that an annual pass would work out cheaper if we were buying for 7 days. The leaflets and posters are also entirely in French, unlike other advertising at the park. So, are they trying to keep these cheaper prices a secret? We put this to them and they said,
all visitors are able to purchase annual passports either via the central reservations office or the dedicated ticket sales desk at the park. The annual passport was originally created and marketed towards the local market, who are more likely to visit the resort several times in a year. However, a variety of tailor-made promotions are offered at different times of the year to reflect the local needs in each market. Any guest wishing to purchase an offer seen on another official Disneyland Paris website can call the Central Reservations Office.
Well, that's what Disneyland Paris had to say. But what can you do if you spot the cheaper passes when you get to the gate?
If when you get to the gate you find you've paid more online than you could have got at the gate, what you need to do is make them aware there and then that actually you've paid more, you're not happy, and you want them to resolve it for you. Often, if you can't resolve it, what you may have to do, you might have to go with the price that you've paid for now, and then when you get back home to your country residence, make a complaint through the European Consumer Centre.
The European Consumer Centre helps EU citizens settle disputes across borders. Those visiting from outside Europe can of course always contact Disney directly with any concerns.
Businesses should not now charge somebody more dependent on their country of residence or nationality. If you find you've been charged more, you need to make sure that you ask why. There can be legitimate reasons why you're charged more, but question it, and if necessary, make a complaint to the European Consumer Centre.
There's no doubt a trip to a theme park is a lot of fun, whatever age you are. But if you're the kid at heart who has to pick up the bills, here's your travel show guide to planning the next trip.
Tip 1. Before booking online, phone the attraction direct and find out if there's a way to beat the web prices. Tip 2. Always look at the price of annual passes. They can be surprisingly good value if you're going for a few days. Tip 3. Combining attractions with travel plans can save you cash. See if your flight, train or bus operator offers combo deals. And tip 4, look at offer sites. If you're flexible on dates, you can get some real bargains on quieter days. Still to come, the bottle that makes water safe to drink in just 60 seconds, and the sunglasses that can mean you throw away your camera when you next go on holiday. But first, here's this week's travel news. Hotel rates in Spain have taken a nosedive over recent years, according to an industry insider. UK-based hotel wholesaler Jack Travel say that rates have dropped by almost a third in Madrid, mainly because fewer Spaniards are visiting the capital, so it could definitely work to your advantage to shop around and see just how low hotels will go to get your booking. Fast food giant McDonald's has opened its first ever outlet in communist-controlled Vietnam. Up until now, the country has resisted the lure of Big Macs, French fries and steaming hot apple pies. But now, they've succumbed to perhaps the most potent of capitalist culinary icons. And researchers in Germany and the UK are investigating how virtual reality technology could help people overcome their fear of flying. Volunteers are being strapped into machines that recreate turbulence and then being exposed to 3D images of scenes which are meant to counter the stress caused by a bumpy ride. The research is part of a wider project aiming to predict what the in-flight experience will be like 35 years from now.
San Sebastian, in Spain's Basque Country, has long been renowned for its culinary imagination and traditional cider production. But more recently, the seaside city has adopted Spain's drink of choice, the gin and tonic. So I enlisted the help of some locals to see if I could find out why this drink had become so popular.
You see, this is where the love is. In any other place in the world, you order for a gin and tonic, I bet you they won't go like touching the, you know, when you're gonna put your lips. It's important.
Ellie explained the Basque have their own word for love when referring to food and drink, mimo. So it makes sense that locals wound up with a weakness for a drink that aids in digestion, propelling the gin tonic, as it's called in Spain, from a sloppily poured mixture to a perfected ritual.
La ginebra tiene que estar natural, de 18 a 20 grados de temperatura, para que la ginebra suelte las aromas. Y la tónica tiene que estar de 3 a 5 grados de temperatura para que mantenga el carbónico.
But as amazing as the gin tonics were, we knew it had barely scratched the surface of San Sebastian's rich food and drink scene. Needing a solid base for our evening, Ellie introduced me to pinchos, the local version of tapas that, thankfully, are always a delicious precursor to a night of drinking.
Okay, so everything looks amazing. Tell me what we're getting.
Well, in here they're called pinchos. I'll get you to try some hot pinchos from the kitchen, or maybe some ham, of course.
Whatever you think is the best, I'll eat it.
Of course, long before gin tonics came onto the scene, more than 700 years actually, the Basque had been pairing their pinchos with cider, or sargardua.
No, Ellie, I want to see your pouring skills.
Pouring a glass of cider the traditional way is quite tricky. From above the head to aerate the cider and enhance the flavor and natural carbonation.
This one I'll use the pourer. And this one without the top.
Ooh.
Well, let's see if this works, really.
I foolishly thought I could do better.
Oh my God.
I came to San Sebastian for the gin tonics, but as is often the case, it was the unexpected that made me want to stay.
Stay with us here on the Travel Show because coming up...
Let's go diving.
It's estimated that around half of the coral reefs in this area have already disappeared.
All that and more here on the Travel Show. Welcome back to the Travel Show, your essential getaway guide wherever you're heading.
Here's a gadget for when you wake up in a foreign country and completely forget that the tap water isn't safe to drink. The Camelback All Clear bottle uses UV light to neutralize bacteria. The lid contains a battery that's charged through a USB port. Full charge will take around 5 hours, but that will give you enough power to clean 80 bottles of water. It takes 60 seconds to purify a whole bottle of water. And the great thing is, if it's not just tap water you want to purify, if you want to use it to make waterfall water safe to drink, or something out of a river or a stream, anywhere where there's natural water flowing, this will make good to drink in a minute. You just have to keep it moving until the light goes out. So if you're trekking or if you're off on some expedition, then it's ideal. However, if you're just going to a country for a couple of weeks and you're not comfortable drinking the local water, then actually it might be cheaper if you just buy your water bottles from the shop. Shh, I'm undercover. These might look like normal sunglasses, but they're not. With the Sunny Cams, I can film everything that I see. I'm filming you guys right now. Wave! The Sunny Cams record video from a tiny camera in the middle of the glass. You press down on the control panel to start recording, and your film will be stored on a micro SD card. Now, this does take a little getting used to because you physically have to move your head in the direction that you want to film at, which can make you feel like a little bit of a robot when you're walking along. And we did find, when we watched it back, that the audio was slightly out of sync with the video. But if you are a boarder, if you like skiing, then these are ideal. I, however, am neither of those, so I'm going to go back to being a spy. OMG, having a holiday of a lifetime. Love in London. I can see Big Ben, the London Eye. This is great. I've got to tweet about this, right? So I've got to send the picture. What? The battery on my phone has died? Hashtag sad face. One way to avoid a social media blackout is the XD Design Solar Charger. There are 2 ports on the side of the panel, one USB port for your phone and one next to it where you plug in the device to charge itself. I know what you're thinking. Why does a solar-powered portable charger need to be plugged into the mains before you can use it? Well, it doesn't have to be, because this can be charged by the sun's energy alone, but that takes up to 13 hours. So, if you were to plug this in before you left your house or your hotel, and then you're hanging by the pool for the day, you're on a long coach trip, you could use the sun's energy just to keep it topped up, which will mean you don't get caught short with your mobile phone or whatever device running out of power. I just wish it was a bit more sunny. After a long day of gadget testing, I think I deserve a few minutes out just to relax, maybe just a little power nap. If only I could just get comfy. It gets to the point where you'll do anything just for a little bit of kit, even wear one of these. I know it looks weird, but it's strangely comfortable. The ostrich pillow is filled with microbeads and it's got holes at the top to slide your hands into. But don't forget about your belongings. Someone could take everything you own while your head's in this thing.
Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the world's ocean floor, but they're home to around a quarter of the Earth's marine life. But climate change and pollution are putting many of these vital underwater habitats at risk. Here in Phuket, Thailand, tourism is also taking its toll and threatening some of the most stunning reef systems in the world.
But there is hope. There's one organization in particular which are claiming to make a difference. I'm going to be spending the day with them and see if I can do a little help myself. How are you? Morning. Good to see you. Ready to get more?
Diving is big business here in Phuket, and many holidaymakers come here specifically to snorkel or scuba in its warm Indian Ocean waters. Many of the people who work for the dive companies have joined together to form a group that tries to protect the unique environment which provides them with their livelihood. And today I am going with them as they go to give one of the local reef systems a spring clean.
We're on the way to the dive site at the moment, and it's about an hour and a half away, so in the meantime I get to relax and enjoy the view.
An organization called Go Eco organize an annual big cleanup of the reefs and seas around Phuket every summer. But today I am taking part in a smaller scale event to give me an idea of just what kind of rubbish makes its way to the ocean floor and what kind of harm it causes once it's down there.
The reef in Phuket is the one to bring a lot of tourists come to visit the reef. So if you don't have the reef, so we have less tourists. That means we don't have income. So we have a lot of pollution here, like plastic bag, for example, the people throw in the rivers, in the sea, they've been flushed out to the sea. And also sunblock, for example, the people who are using sunscreen and go in the water. There's also fishing equipment also. Some people not really care about They just throw the fishing equipment in the sea.
And before I join the cleanup, there's just time for a quick briefing with my dive buddy, Mark.
We're doing it right. Well, we're gonna go down on the reef, just below us, about 6 meters. We're gonna descend down along the line. Once we get down to the reef, we'll be looking for garbage now. So we're gonna be wearing gloves because they protect you from the reef, because the reef sometimes can be sharp. And we're gonna carry one of these mesh bag each, so you can, whatever you collect, you can stick it inside, and then we're gonna bring it back to the surface. Okay? Ready to go? Let's go diving.
It's estimated that around half of the coral reefs in this area have already disappeared, and it didn't take long for me to find out one of the reasons why. It was easy to pick out what shouldn't have been there, although I followed the advice from up above and left undisturbed any rubbish that had already been consumed by the reef. GoEco say that removing that type of embedded debris causes even more damage to the reef than leaving it where it is. A keen eye ensured that my bag filled up quickly, and after 20 minutes, with my air running low, it was time for me and Mark to surface.
Now, a couple of things that we managed to pick up were a couple of cans here, this length of rope, and a few of these bottles. Now, this one in particular looks as if it's been down there for quite a while. But the actual process of going under the water with Mark and combing through the coral reefs, you really feel as though you're a part of something, like you're really making a difference.
Tourism isn't the sole cause of the damage to the reefs here. The fishing industry needs to also accept some of the blame for the debris that finds its way to the ocean floor. But if you're keen to take part in the next cleanup and hold a current diving qualification, you could be helping play your part in ensuring that these amazing wonders of nature and home to so much of our marine life survive.
Well, that's your lot for this week, but next week we head to the Maldives. Up until now, a no-go destination unless you had loads of money. But could that be about to change?
So this is what you get in Mali for $75 US a night. A clean room with a double bed, bathroom with what looks like a hot shower. It's not the best view in the world, and I think this is certainly the world's smallest balcony.
Until next time, from me, Adia Depitan, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Paris, it's au revoir, à bientôt, goodbye.